The entire chess world is in mourning, shaken by a tragedy that has exposed the dark side of one of the most respected minds in the game. When young Indian Grandmaster Nihal Sarin finally spoke out about Daniel Naroditsky's death, his words cut deeper than anyone expected. He didn't hesitate, didn't sugarcoat, and didn't hide his anger. Speaking with raw emotion, Nihal declared that former World Champion Vladimir Kramnik, a man once celebrated as a genius of the board, had gone too far, saying, "He has kind of literally taken a life." That single line has sent shockwaves through the chess community, turning what was once a quiet storm of suspicion into a full-blown reckoning. Daniel Naroditsky wasn't just another player. He was a beloved teacher, streamer, and one of the brightest minds in modern chess, a figure who made the game exciting and approachable for millions around the world. But behind his calm voice and kind smile, friends say he had been struggling. The relentless accusations of cheating, many of which came from Kramnik himself, had taken a devastating emotional toll. These weren't random internet rumors. They were public attacks from one of the most respected champions in chess history, and they carried enormous weight. Nihal Sarin, who played one of the last online games with Naroditsky before his death, revealed in interviews that Danya had been under immense stress. Nihal recalled that during their final games, Naroditsky seemed distracted and drained, his usual spark dimmed by the constant cloud of allegations hanging over him. Nihal said he sensed something was deeply wrong. When news of Naroditsky's death broke, Nihal was heartbroken and angry. He said bluntly that Kramnik's actions went too far, that his repeated, baseless accusations and public humiliation had consequences that could no longer be ignored. For Nihal, this wasn't just about one player's tragedy. It was about accountability in the chess world. He pointed out that Kramnik's behavior wasn't an isolated incident. Over the past year, the former champion had accused multiple grandmasters of cheating in online games, often without solid evidence or any official review. Nihal compared Kramnik's crusade to burning down a city to catch one thief, saying that his reckless campaign against players had destroyed lives and reputations in the process. He explained that what made this situation even more tragic was the imbalance of power. Kramnik, as a legendary former world champion, had an enormous following and credibility. When he publicly accused someone, people listened. But for younger players like Naroditsky, fighting back wasn't easy. Every denial, every attempt to defend himself only fueled more speculation. Nihal admitted that when he himself was once accused of cheating online, he was lucky to have friends, coaches, and the Indian chess community stand by him. But Naroditsky didn't have that same support. He was largely fighting the battle alone, under intense public scrutiny. Nihal's words have sparked a wave of debate across the global chess scene. Many grandmasters have stepped forward, echoing his sentiment and expressing outrage at Kramnik's relentless campaign of accusations. Magnus Carlsen called the situation horrible, while Hikaru Nakamura described Kramnik's behavior as beyond unacceptable. For the first time, the chess world seemed united, not over a board, but over a moral question. How far is too far when it comes to fighting cheating? In response to the public outrage, FIDE, the International Chess Federation, officially launched an ethics investigation into Kramnik's conduct. The federation's president, Arkady Dvorkovich, stated that while fair play is essential to chess, harassment and defamation cannot be tolerated. If the Ethics Commission finds Kramnik guilty of misconduct, he could face serious consequences, from public reprimands to suspension from official events or roles within FIDE. For a player once hailed as one of the greatest strategic minds in history, this is a stunning fall from grace. But beyond the disciplinary process, the emotional fallout of Naroditsky's death has forced the chess community to confront uncomfortable truths. Online chess has grown massively since the pandemic, but so have accusations of cheating, sometimes based more on emotion and ego than on evidence. Platforms like Chess.com and Lichess already have sophisticated detection systems, but those systems are designed to be confidential. When powerful figures take the law into their own hands, public shaming replaces due process, and that can destroy lives. Nihal's grief is raw and deeply human. He said he couldn't stop thinking about Naroditsky's final days, about how someone so brilliant and full of kindness could be pushed to such despair. "He was one of the nicest people I've ever known," Nihal said in a somber tone. "He didn't deserve this. His statement serves not only as a tribute to Naroditsky, but also as a warning, a plea for compassion in a community where respect and sportsmanship have always been core values. The tragedy has become more than just a personal story. It's a turning point in how chess deals with ethics, accountability, and mental health. For decades, chess has prided itself on intellect and logic, but this incident reveals a darker side, one where ego, suspicion, and public judgment can spiral out of control. The game that teaches patience and foresight now faces a moral test of its own. As the investigation continues, Kramnik remains defiant, insisting that he never intended harm and that he, too, has been targeted by online hate. But for many, that explanation rings hollow. Words have consequences, especially when they come from someone whose legacy once inspired generations. What began as a campaign for fair play may now define the end of his public credibility. The death of Daniel Naroditsky has left a void that can't be filled. His passion, his intelligence, and his generosity will be remembered, but his story stands as a heartbreaking reminder of the real-world consequences of online behavior. Nihal Sarin's bold statement has opened a much-needed conversation, one about empathy, responsibility, and the fragile line between truth and cruelty. In the end, this isn't just about chess. It's about the power of influence, the danger of reckless speech, and the cost of silence. The board may have 64 squares, but what happened to Naroditsky proves that life and loss can't be contained within them. The chess world is learning this lesson the hardest way possible, and it may never be the same again.